you guys have been following the channel, then you might know I'm not necessarily the biggest Francis Ngannou fan. I've never bought into the nice guy act, and I know it's easy to say in hindsight right now with everything going on, but if you're really that curious, I have videos on the topic. But today we are going to be talking about this going around from championship rounds. This clip from Dana White. I was sitting down, I was getting ready to record all my content for the next day, and this ended up coming out. So we're going to be uploading at night talking about this. Dana White revealing what happened with Francis Ngannou. We're going to talk about that today. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with many YouTube channels. So typically, we have an authentic reaction to things on this channel, but I have already seen this, so let's react to it together with you guys.
I guess the one I will tell you is, you know, everybody has this thing about Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He plays the whole, I don't understand the language, and he tries to come
Now, we're going to stop there, okay? YouTube, I'm very grateful to be on this platform. That's not something that's typically okay to say. I'm just reporting the news, what's going viral. We're going to give commentary on this.
off like he's a fucking nice guy, you know what I mean? And people go, oh, well, it's the language barrier probably. No.
Now, my question with this is, why is he saying this now? What happened? Like, why didn't we hear these stories a long time ago? Besides, and I know that he said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, Francis isn't the nice guy he's all made out to be. Why are we just hearing about this now?
No, there's no fucking language barrier with this guy. He's a bad guy. And I told my guys, you know, I wanted to cut him early. And two of my matchmaker guys were like, oh, no, you don't understand. I said, guys, let me tell you a story. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Believe.
Fair take. I think that's the way you should carry yourself through that. But of course, we didn't really get to see that from Francis Ngannou. Actually, we did see that through Francis Ngannou. One of the reasons why I have never liked Francis Ngannou is because, and don't talk to me about adrenaline. Don't talk to me about that's just what happens in the fight game. Don't talk to me about it's the ref's job. Francis has these people consistently like out cold from his shots to the point where he gets the opportunity to like not pounce on them. Think about the Alistair Overeem KO. He knocks him out. The guy's laying dead on the ground. He wants to have a cool highlight, so he plays with his life. He is like 300 pounds of muscle, probably PEDs. You're playing with people's lives at that point. And that's when I definitely knew Francis Ngannou wasn't a nice guy. Like seeing him do that type of stuff to people. Good people don't do that. I'm sorry. Like it's different if you have beef with somebody. I get it, but he's just playing with lives because he wants to.
Leave him. And this guy has shown. So he's going in to fight Stipe Miocic in Boston. And he knows he's going to fucking kill Stipe, right? So after the press conference, we're walking down this hallway, and he comes over to me, and he grabs me. And he says, let me tell you what's going to happen. His English is fucking great, okay? No language barrier whatsoever.
Now that, honestly, I'm curious if it's true. Because we know with the Dana White stories, he could just be making this entire thing up. I don't think that he is. We're going to expand on it. It's just, I want to know it's true if Francis actually does speak perfect English.
When this fight's over, you're going to book me a private plane to Paris. And I said, I laughed and said, oh yeah, he goes, I'm not joking. You're going to book me a private plane.
Why? Like, it's not like he wanted to fight there. Is it just like, give me a vacation? I don't know.
Paris. So, okay. So we go our own ways. Stipe Miocic beats the fucking shit out of him. So that ended that whole conversation. And he had just fought, and he comes up to my office, and you know, he's in the hallway or whatever, hanging out. And I said, "Come on in. What's going on?" And he was pissed off that he didn't get a $50,000 bonus.
And you know what? This is the part of the story. I'm sorry. I just believe it. I don't think Francis Ngannou is a nice guy. He's obviously a violent guy with the way, again, he toys with people's lives in the octagon. It's the ref's job. I get it. Adrenaline. I get it. Whatever. A lot of guys are able to contain themselves, and Francis Ngannou literally plays with their lives.
In his last fight, that he didn't get the bonus of the night. And I said, well, Francis, you didn't get it because this, that. And he's in my office, and he's arguing with me. And I'm like, yeah. This guy got this guy got that, and this is why. The conversation's over. I'm starting to leave, and he grabs me by my shirt.
Fuck.
And like pushes me back in my office. And I said, dude, get your fucking hands off me.
It's tough because Dana and the amount of power that he has perhaps that's a real story, but it's very difficult to believe Francis Ngannou, like, grabbing him by the shirt and being like, yeah, we're not done talking. And then Dana's like, Francis, get your hands off me. I can't really believe that. But I'm more likely to believe Dana's story than Francis Ngannou being a nice, big old humble guy here.
Those were the words that came out of you when Francis Ngannou grabbed you by the shirt?
See, Schultz doesn't believe him either. Hang on.
Those were the words that came out of you when Francis Ngannou grabbed you by the shirt?
Yeah.
And he's still saying yeah. So maybe there was other people there. Maybe he was confident that Francis Ngannou wasn't actually going to do anything to him because, again, Dana White has a lot of power. I've never believed the whole nice guy thing. And with all of this stuff coming out with the PFL now, with Francis Ngannou, you know, he just takes the money, screws off, does all this talk about fighting or the PFL in Africa. They do their event. Francis Ngannou doesn't even show up. It's just a giant mess. And that seemed to be the nail in the coffin for a lot of people. But for me, dude, and I know it's easier to say right now. I understand you might be looking like, oh my God, it's easy with this video coming out because I know when things like this come out, I haven't scrolled through the comments, but there's bound to be the comments where it's like, yeah, I always knew there was something up with Francis Ngannou. I just couldn't prove it. I know I'm sounding like one of those guys right now. I know. I understand. If you really, really want to dig into it, I have mentioned it throughout like with conversations with Francis Ngannou who's going viral with the MMA community. I even have a video. I can't remember what it was called. It was something like I don't like Francis Ngannou, or my brutal, honest take on Francis Ngannou, something like that. I have never liked the way that this guy plays with lives in the octagon. And I will always receive pushback with that. I know, like, excuse my language, but what some people are definitely going to say in the comments down below, bro, if your pussy hurts, just say that. I understand that. I understand it's a fight. I understand it's a ref's job. I understand he can legally jump on people. I think with a man his size, with the strength that he has to have some sort of responsibility. I don't think any good person would knock out somebody to the extent that he knocked out Alistair Overeem. His neck, like, I'm shocked his neck didn't fly off of his head. You see him laying there, like, twitching like this, and your thought process isn't, oh, I might have just killed a man. Your thought process is, let's make sure this guy's dead. I've never liked anything like that. I never liked the way that he acted in title leaving the UFC. I don't like what he's doing at the PFL. He's completely scummed them out, and I'm not going to touch on the motorcycle incident because I haven't really followed that all too closely. But I know there's a lot of people talking about too, like, oh my God, the guy who murdered a little girl on a bike. Yeah, shocker that he's not a nice guy. I don't recall if there's more to the story. I don't recall if he just ended up hitting her like by accident. I don't know, but he probably got out of it because of who he is, and he probably paid off any legal duties that he had. I've never thought he was a nice guy. I've always been on Dana White's side, and I understand that Dana White likes to embellish, and I understand that Dana White, he could very well just be lying, especially saying like, yeah, you know what I said? Dude, get your hands off me. You know what I'm imagining is that clip when Mike Tyson told Dana to get out of the seat, and he's like, okay, I'll get right out of the seat, you know? With a guy like Francis grabbing you, I just struggle to say, hey, Francis, get your hands off me right now. You might say like, okay, Francis, let's calm down, something along those lines. I just never bought it, man. And I'm glad that the MMA community is finally turning on Francis Ngannou a little, because I really don't think he's a good guy. I like a lot of fighters in this game. Francis is definitely not one of them. But guys, I actually made a video a while ago talking about fighters that I either didn't like or had my mind changed on them. Whatever video is easier to find, I'll have it up right here for you. It's talking about disliking fighters, guys. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.